Hey YouTube, Peterbilt Knife Guy. Today we're going to be kind of redoing a knife that I've already kind of did initial impression of, took it out of the box, checked it out, played with it, did a couple chops. But I have been nothing but enamored with this thing since I've had it. Now I've had it for a few weeks now and I carry it with me everywhere I go. It lives in my backpack with all my other knives that I choose in, and the knives that are in there are not cheap knives. I have the Sword von Temsky, I have the 3V Trailmaster, I have SEs, I have all kinds of stuff in there. I think there's 6 now, a Benchmade, but this one lives in there too. It has earned its right to be in there by being such a fantastic knife, and screw the price, just a good knife. Honestly, if this knife was $100, it'd have been worth it. It's like $56 on Amazon or something like that. But this thing has quickly earned its right to be carried by me. And it is made in China. It's D2 steel. It's 0.2 inches thick. So it's got a very thick, robust spine. It's been rounded over, very nice, except for it does have sharp edges where you need them. So if you wanted to strike a ferrocerium rod, you absolutely could with this thing. And I believe I did that in my... Maybe I didn't, but you could absolutely scrape a ferrocerium rod with this, or scrape wood shavings. Like here's just a 2x4, but you could definitely scrape wood shavings with this thing. To get a fire started. You can see all the garbage on here now, which made a mess. But yeah, this thing has earned the right to be part of my EDC kit. And mind you, my EDC kit, hit my head, is unreasonable. Nobody needs that much knife on them all the time, but when you're a knife nut like me and many other people, you know what, you suffer the consequences of carrying around 20-30 pounds of knives on you every day. But yeah, anyways, this thing, I use it whenever I get the chance. I've thrown it. I have chopped with it. I've done all kinds of stuff with it, and look at how well this coating has held up. There is not a freaking scratch on there. Now, on the back it is, because in one of my throwings I missed, and it actually landed butt down on concrete. But everything else held up perfectly. The G10 has held up perfectly. I have been more than impressed with this knife, and I don't usually say that. Cheaper than a lot of other knives out there. It comes with this Kydex sheath, which for the knife it's good, but it's kind of thinner on the Kydex scale. It's kind of flimsy. I wouldn't say flimsy, but it's kind of flimsy. But it does the job. It holds the knife. It holds it in there securely, so it ain't gonna go nowhere. It does come with a bunch of stuff. I took it off because I just slipped this in my backpack. But yeah, I've used it enough to where I've had to resharpen it. Not that it goes dull quick, but I've used it so much that I felt it was time for a Peterbilt Knife Guy edge on here. And I tell you what, this thing just takes a wicked edge. Just stupid sharp. And yeah, that was one of the things too. I like it so much, I was telling my neighbor about it. He came over and looked at one, or the one I have, and ended up coming to me the next day and says, "Hey, my knife's gonna be here tomorrow." So just by my neighbor holding one of these, he had to buy one. So yeah, they're pretty freaking cool. Now, I haven't done a hard use test on it. D2 is not known for being the strongest. I believe this is up there in the 60s Rockwell, 60 or 62, somewhere around in there. It's above 50. It's definitely in the 60s. So I don't know how it's going to hold up, but judging by how thick this thing is, that is a thicker blade than an SE6 and an SE4. I would imagine it would hold up well. Now maybe Maybe on a tip test, might break that off. But I have been meaning to do a hard use test on this guy. That'll be my determining factor whether it is in the Hall of Fame or not. But it's literally been 110 degrees where I live for the last week and a half now, and I haven't had the chance to really do it. So as soon as the weather clears up, but you know, just gets a little more comfortable, I will be doing a hard use test on this. I hope it doesn't break, because I really do like this knife. It is a definite win in my book. If you're just going to do knife things with it, this is probably more knife than you even need, to be honest with you. This thing is chunky, and the underneath the scales is milled out, and it's milled out nicely too, not to where it's going to like hurt the strength of the overall knife itself. But yeah, we'll see how it holds up on the hard use test. I will be heartbroken if it breaks, but stay tuned. We'll be doing that eventually. Anyways, thanks for watching.